Good morning to one and all. This is Nagajyoti, working as an assistant professor in Department of ECE in St. Peter's Engineering College. So in this session, I want to discuss topic of impedance and reactance concept. So before going further, impedance and reactance concept, as already we know that the basic passive elements are resistance, inductor and a capacitor. So among all these three, a resistor is called as dissipating element, whereas inductor and capacitor are called as storage elements. So here the property of a resistor is which opposes the flow of current or which dissipates the energy in the form of heat. But whereas a capacitor and an inductor stores the energy. In case of an inductor, it stores the energy in the form of a magnetic field, but whereas in case of a capacitor, it stores the energy in the form of an electric charge. So, in case of a concept of impedance and reactances, we need to deal with these three basic components. So, here the first element is a resistance which opposes the flow of current. So here we will be representing resistor as ratio of voltage and current. And the units for this resistance are ohms. Similarly, if we are talking a term called as reactance. So, if a circuit consists of an element of only a resistor, such a circuit is called as resistive network. But if a circuit consists of an element of either an inductor or a capacitor, then such a circuit is called as reactance circuit. The notation for the reactance is X, that is X is equivalent to V by I, and the units are also ohms. And the next one is impedance. It is represented by Z. Z is equivalent to V by I, and the units are ohms. But a circuit consists of a resistor followed by inductor or resistor followed by capacitor or resistor followed by inductor as well as capacitor, then such a circuit is called as an impedance circuit. So here in case of this, if you are representing all these in terms of an vector quantity, or in the other words I can write down this xl is equivalent to omega l, where omega is 2 pi f into l. Similarly, this capacitance reactance is xc 1 by omega c, which is equivalent to 1 by 2 pi fc. So here whenever f is equivalent to 0, so for if frequency is 0, that itself indicates it is DC. So if frequency is 0, we won't have any XL or XC related terms. Whenever there is some frequency, that is only for the alternating current, we'll be getting a terms of reactant terms, whether it may be a inductive reactance or a capacitive reactance. So here whenever a circuit consists of either an inductor, capacitor, or both an inductor and capacitor, that itself indicates the source of voltage which we are applying is an AC source. And coming to that, what is the difference between inductor and an inductance? So here this is nothing but called as an inductor, and the amount of value that is present. Now if you take an example of a tomato. So here we will be saying that is a tomato, but how much amount, that is the mass of a tomato will be mentioning it as in terms of grams. Similarly, it is an inductor. The amount or the mass of that quantity will be representing it as an inductance. So here, if a circuit consists of only pure inductor, then it is called as a purely inductive circuit. Similarly, if a circuit consists of only the capacitive element, it is called as capacitive reactance. If a circuit consists of both resistance as well as a reactance, then such a circuit is called as an impedance. So, in case of an impedance, if you take a circuit of an example of resistor followed by an inductor. So in this case, this is VR and this is an inductance L. If I am applying an voltage source of V, this flow of current in this circuit is I. So there is some voltage drop across this resistance, which is VR, and there is some voltage drop. This it will store the energy in terms of an VM. So here we can write down in terms of vector quantity as root over R square plus XL square, or we can write down XL is nothing but omega L. So here we can write down this as R square plus omega L whole square under root. Similarly, if a circuit consists of resistor followed by a capacitor, then we can write down this as R and this is C. We can write down Z is equivalent to R plus 1 by j omega c. That is, here Z is equivalent to, here we can write down Z is equivalent to R plus j omega L. Here Z is equivalent to R plus 1 by j omega c. And as we are writing it as 1 by j omega c, we can write down R minus j omega c, or R minus j by omega c. If a circuit consists of all the three elements, then we can write down Z is equivalent to R plus j omega L plus 1 by j omega c. So this is the basic concept of impedance and reactances. Now coming to the complete concept of first one, which is nothing but an impedance. So in case of an concept of an impedance, concept of an impedance, we can say that a circuit consists of a resistor followed by a capacitor or inductor or both. Now let me take a simple circuit which is nothing but a circuit in which it consists of a resistor followed by an inductor, and I am applying some voltage source, alternating voltage source. So here let me do some Vm sine omega t, and because of this voltage some current is flowing through this I. This is a resistance R, this is an inductor L. So here there is some voltage across this resistance as well as this inductance. So here, as it is series, the current flowing is same but the voltage drop is different. So we can write down this total voltage as it is having an inductor and representing it in terms of a vector quantity. So V is equivalent to VR plus VL, that is voltage drop across the resistance as well as inductance. Similarly, the voltage V is equivalent to I into R. So voltage drop across the resistance can be written as I into R, and voltage across the reactance, that is an inductance, can be written as I into XL. So here where XL is nothing but 2 pi f into L. As we are representing in the vector form, we can represent this in this way. Now, in order to understand the concept of these impedance clearly, we need to draw the phasor diagrams. Now, before going for these phasor diagrams, first let me give some brief introduction, clear concept about resistance, capacitance and inductance. So here, in case of a resistance, if you are taking this as time axis and if you are drawing the voltage as well as current relationships for the resistance, inductor and the capacitor. Now as the resistor dissipates the energy in the form of an heat, if we are applying some voltage along and for a duration of time t, this I am representing it as a voltage and there is some current flowing in the same way as that of the voltage but with lesser magnitude. That itself indicates in case of an resistance, the voltage and current both are in same phase, that is the phase angle between voltage and current in resistor is equivalent to 0 degrees. So here the power factor is given by cos phi cos 0 which is equivalent to 1. So the power factor for the resistance is equivalent to 1. So this is for resistor. Similarly, if we are going for inductor, inductor opposes the sudden changes of current. So here the definition of an inductor is it stores energy in the form of a magnetic field. Similarly, it can also be defined in such a way that which opposes the sudden changes of current. So here if we are taking this as an voltage, now as it is opposing the sudden changes of current, whenever we are taking this into the consideration, here we won't get the same as that of the voltage. It will take some time in order to get some current through these one. So there is a some angle between the voltage and current of an inductor. That angle is nothing but some phi. Now if we are taking smaller value of an inductance, this phi value will be lesser. If we are going on increasing the inductor value of larger amount, this phi value is going to be increased. So here, if phi is going to be increased, that itself indicates that power factor is, that is cos phi value is going to be decreased. And if the inductor value is going to be increased, itself indicates the complete circuit is of pure inductor. So here pure inductor itself indicates there we are getting a concept called as of reactant. So if a circuit consists of either purely inductor or a purely capacitor, then such a circuit is called as a reactant circuit. So here if you are taking smaller values of an inductor, the phi value will be less. If you are increasing the inductance value, the phi value is also increasing. Therefore, cos phi value is going to be decreased. That itself indicates in case of an inductor, there is a concept of lagging of this current. So, but whereas in case of an capacitance, if you are taking this as a voltage, the property of a capacitor is it opposes the sudden changes of voltage. So here in case of these capacitances, here first you will be getting a curve of an current, then followed by an voltage. So here in case of a capacitance also we will be getting some phase angle between the voltage and the current, but in case of an inductor we will be getting a leading in case of an with reference to that of the current. In case of an inductor will be getting a lagging, but in case of an capacitance will be getting a leading with reference towards the current. Now if you want to draw the phasor diagram for these circuit in which it consists of an inductor as well as a resistance component. Here first thing is the steps which we need to follow over here is we need to take the current as a reference axis. Why we need to take the current as a reference axis is, if let me take this is an voltage. So here whenever we are taking this term as a voltage source, here we need to take this value as a 0, and first let me draw the phasor diagram for the resistance. So here in case as the property of the resistance itself indicates which opposes the flow of current. So here the current which is flowing in case of a resistance is less when compared to that of the voltage. And as just now we have seen that the resistance is having the phase difference of 0 degrees between the voltage and current. So the voltage across the resistance is also in the same direction as that of the current. So here instead of if we are taking this as a voltage, we will be having the current in this way for the resistance. So instead of this, what I am doing over here is I am taking the reference axis as a current axis. So if I am taking this reference axis as a current axis, as just now we have told that in case of a resistance, the phase difference between the voltage and current is 0. So the voltage across the resistance is also in the same direction as that of the current direction. And as we have seen that in case of a inductance, the maximum phase angle is 90 degrees. So here this will be our voltage across the inductance. So the resultant will be the, as the circuit consists of VL and VR, this is an VR and this is VL. So the complete resultant is nothing but a vector quantity which is V. As it is making an angle of phi, we can write down this complete V is equivalent to VL plus VR. VL is equivalent to I into XL and VR is equivalent to I into R. So here according to this, from this voltage, this triangle is called as a voltage triangle. From this voltage triangle we can write down this complete V is equivalent to, this is hypotenuse, so it is VL whole square plus VR whole square. So VL is equivalent to I into XL whole square plus I into R whole square, which can be written it as V is equivalent to I into Z. So V is equivalent to I. We can take this I towards outside. So Z here is nothing but XL square plus R square. So this is a concept of an impedance. Now in this, if we divide this complete triangle by I. So here if we are dividing this complete triangle by I, this becomes, redrawing this complete over here. This is a phi angle and this is V, this is VL, this is VR. If I am dividing this complete by I, this is VR by I, VL by I, V by I. So here V by I is nothing but impedance. So this triangle is called as an impedance triangle. So here this V by I, this can be written in terms of this other way, that if we are representing the same thing in terms of a cos and sine terms, we can write down this in such a way that this triangle is called as an impedance triangle, and from this impedance triangle we can write down here cos phi is equivalent to VR by R, or in simple word, if we divide this complete triangle with I, then such a triangle is called as an impedance triangle. So here VR by I is nothing but R, V by I is equivalent to Z, and V by I is equivalent to XL. As I am relating with that of the inductance terms, I am writing it as XL. So here we can write down this cos phi as VR by R, or we can write down this as R by Z. So similarly, in this way we can write down about the cos, sine and phi related terms from the impedance triangle. Now coming to the concept of reactance. So in case of a concept of reactance, we need to take the complete circuit as only either an inductor or a capacitor. So now let me take a circuit in which it consists of only a pure inductor. So here if I am taking a pure inductance circuit, we can say that the current flowing through this is I current. So I can write down I is equivalent to some I is equivalent to V by R, or in other words I can write down here V by some reactance of that inductance, which is nothing but XL. So here we can write down V by XL is nothing but J omega L or omega L, which is nothing but V by 2 pi F into L. See here in this case, as frequency is increasing, as XL is equivalent to 2 pi FL, as XL is equivalent to 2 pi FL, as frequency increases, the reactance of an inductor are also increases. That is, frequency and reactance are directly proportional. So we can define the inductive reactance as opposition offered by the inductor of a circuit at the rate of change of current. So here we can define the inductance as opposition offered by a circuit whenever there is rate of change of current in a circuit. So here if I am taking this frequency is equivalent to 0, then XL will also be is equivalent to 0. So here for DC circuits only the frequency will be 0. So that is the reason the reactance concept will be considered only for the AC but not an DC. So we can say that inductance offers zero reactance for DC. So the statement, what is the conclusion which we can say over here is the inductance offers zero reactance for the DC. Similarly, if we want to draw the frequency response curve for this inductance, that is XL versus frequency. Here this is XL and this is frequency. As frequency is increasing, XL also increases. So here it is a directly proportional with respect towards the frequency. But if you take the concept of a capacitance, in case of a capacitance, we'll be having I is equivalent to V by Xc, but Xc is nothing but 1 by j omega c. So here whenever we are having a term of Xc as 1 by omega c, here Xc is nothing but where Xc is 1 by omega c. Omega is 2 pi f. As frequency is increasing, reactance is going to be decreased. That is, in case of a capacitance, frequency and reactance components both are inversely related. So capacitance reactance is defined as opposition offered by the capacitance to flow of an alternating current. Or in other words, if we draw the Xc as well as this frequency, this is Xc and this is frequency. As frequency is increasing, the reactance value is going to be decreased. So we can say that if frequency is 0, that is for DC component, frequency will be 0. If frequency is 0, the reactance offered by the capacitance is maximum. So in simple words, we can say that capacitance offers open circuit to the DC, but whereas inductance offer short circuit. That is, capacitance will block the DC component. So this is the concept of impedance and reactance. I am just summarizing these points. If a circuit is of purely resistor type, then it is called as a resistive network. So in case of a resistive network, the voltage and current will be in the same phase. So the power factor of resistive is 1 or unity. But whereas in case of if a circuit consists of a pure inductive or a pure capacitive, then such a circuit is called as reactance circuit. So in case of a reactance circuit, we can represent reactance as X, either it may be an inductive reactance or a capacitive reactance. So in case of a inductive reactance, as frequency increases, reactance also increases. But whereas in case of a capacitive, frequency and reactance are inversely related. So here as F is equivalent to 0, Xc will be of maximum value. Now I want to give you a summarizing point of the capacitive, inductive and resistive. So in case of a resistance, as we are saying that it consists of a unity power factor. So here unity power factor itself indicates that the phase angle between these two is equivalent to 0, which is equivalent to 1. So if I want to draw a curve for this, I am taking this as 0 reference. So here in case of a resistance, voltage and current are in the same phase. So we can represent this as VR. If VR is over here, the current will also be in the same direction. So as cos phi is equivalent to this phi value is 0, the maximum value which we will be getting it as a positive value. But if you take the inductance value of smaller value, if inductance value or smaller value, phi value will also be small. If phi value is small, the cos phi value is going to be small. So here if you are drawing the phasor for this one, for the inductive component, you will be getting a curve in this way for this inductive. But if you take for the capacitor, you will be getting all the values of positive, negative as well as a 0.